What is up, everybody? The Hunter GT with TheHunterGT.com. That's right, go check out the website, TheHunterGT.com. Well, what is going on today? We have the 13-inch Magic Coil from MGC Laboratory for the F11, F22, F44 series. You can see it. It should zoom in right there. Nice little puffy sticker on this coil. Super nice build quality. It's got like that truck rhino liner quality to it, just like the last one, the 5x8 coil that I reviewed. If you haven't seen that video, go one back and it is right there. We got that coil sitting right here. It is a closed loop coil. It's got the nice coil cover on it and everything, just like this big 13-inch. But there they are side by side. So now you can see the difference between a 13-inch round and a 5x8 elliptical. Both of them are DD coils. That's all that Magic or MGC Lab makes. I like to just call them Magic, but the technical name is MGC Laboratory. So there it is. All the links are down in the video description below. Big shout out to Eugene from MGC for getting this sent to me. Michael from Midwest Relic Recovery. And if you are in the UK, why don't you go check out Unearthed UK. Check out Graham Rushton. He has some videos on YouTube. He's got a website, a Facebook group. Go check out the Midwest Relic Recovery Facebook group as well, led by Michael, down in the video descriptions below. All the information you need is down there. So here it is, 13-inch coil. Quite a bit bigger. Obviously it doesn't separate and isn't going to be as good in trash as the 5x8 here, or a 5-inch that Magic also makes. So they make a 5-inch, then they step up to this 5x8, then they step up to a 9x13, and then up to this 13-inch round. So I'm hoping they make a 9x13 for the F11, F22, F44 as well. That would be awesome. I'm hoping they make that for the F75 as well. So far, all they make are these two coils for the F11, F22, F44, and the F75. So MGC, Eugene, if you guys are watching and listening, make that 9x13, make that 5-inch as well. Make it for the T2 as well, because I'd love to have this set up for the T2, man. These are really nice coils. They both come with coil covers, super nice and sturdy bolts here. I mean, they're not crummy at all. They are really nice. I love the coil connection. It's got like some extra shrink tubing reinforcement on the end that, I mean, it doesn't bend at all. It's nice and thick right there. Reinforced right here on the coil side as well. So they really, I mean, the build quality is just off the chart on this. The ears are super solid. I mean, it's just off the chart as far as build quality. So performance was there. On the 5x8, you saw the air test, you saw the nail test. What will we get with this 13-inch round on the G2 Plus? So this fits the G2 Plus and the F19 as well. You know, the 7.7 kilohertz and the 19 kilohertz, all that stuff on the sidebar there. I flash it up on the text there, and you can see all the detectors that it fits. So without further ado, what do you say we get this hooked up to the G2 Plus, crank it up as much as we can? It is a bigger antenna. So I'm curious to see if we're going to get a little more EMI interference. We didn't get any with the 5x8. I cranked it all the way up, I want to say, in the last video. So we'll see if I can crank this one all the way up. I might be able to, I might not be able to. And we'll see, you know, it doesn't separate as well or unmask as well as a smaller coil will. So we'll see what sort of nail tests it will pass, if it'll pass that long nail test or not, or if that will just be a little bit too much for it. We shall see upcoming in the video. Let's do it. All right, got the G2 Plus cranked up to 100 here. We have a plethora of targets, from high conductors to large mid conductors. We have lead, we have nickels here, 3 different nickels, zincs, we have silvers here. We have a plethora of targets, gold, silver, small objects, all that. Let's try the small BB. It's not, you know, it's a large 13-inch coil. We don't expect it to hit small objects like this. The 5x8 coil for the G2 Plus, for the F11, 22, F44 series, you know, those Greek series, where we're at? We're at 3.5, 4 inches in the last test. So this one, it's hitting it. But at about, inch and a half, the signal's gone. So it's not made for those small, tiny little objects like that, but it does still hit it right up on the coil. So there is some sensitivity there. As you'll see, no problem on some of these larger objects here. So you want sensitivity, you want to go gold prospect, something like that, hit tiny little pickers or nuggets. You want to go down to like their 5-inch coil or their 5x8 coil, depending on your detector application. So let's try this eagle button here from the Mexican-American War, 1840s here, 20 years before the Civil War right here. Look at that. We're clear out to 8, 9, 10 inches, 11. We're getting whispers out to 12. So there you go. Let's try this gold ring here. A thin 10 karat, super thin 10 karat women's gold ring. Look at that. Oh baby. The G2 Plus. You know, this G2 Plus loves mid-range conductors like gold, lead, zincs. Oh man, just loves it. And this coil just really improves that fact. Look at this ring. We're getting whispers and hits clear out to 12 inches. 13. I mean, we're clear off the ruler right there. No problem. Let's try the large silver. Look at this. Large hunkin' silver. Now you're going to see the G2 Plus does not like high conductors as much. Look, we're out to about 8, 9. We're still getting pops at 10. So yeah, at about 10 inches or so. So it definitely loves those gold range targets. Let's try the silver dime. Small silver. And we're still good out to 9. We're getting whispers at 9, 10 inches there. Indian head penny, copper range. Moving down the conductor some here into the copper zinc range. We're getting some strong hits at 9, 10, and we're fading clear out to a foot. So we're getting like some T2 F75 numbers here with the G2 Plus with this big old honkin' 13-inch coil. Zinc penny. We're getting whispers out to a foot. Look at those hits though at 9, 10 inches. So really good. We're getting whispers out to a foot. Now watch this. We're going to try the nickels here. We got a Barber V nickel here. We have a 40% silver war nickel right here. And we have a buffalo nickel right here. So check this out. Look at that V nickel. Listen to those hits at 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. We're getting whispers clear out to 13, 14. What about that silver war nickel? Well, we're good clear out to 12, 13, 14. We're getting whispers. Buffalo. Good hits. Clear out to 10, 11, 12. I mean, look at that at a foot. Listen to that. Listen to that at a foot. That's pretty good. Who would have thought a G2 Plus is going to reach out and touch somebody at a foot? I never did. I've always said the G2 Plus is one of my favorite detectors, the F19 as well. They're just not depth monsters. They never have been, and they never will be, basically, especially on a high conductor like silver. They love mid-range targets, mid-conductors like gold, but man, this coil, it really expands on that fact. I mean, this thing is going to be just great. I mean, with a 5x8, that little 5x8 as well was getting that BB out to 4 inches. That's my gold prospecting coil when I take this out to the gold claim. This coil right here is going to be my new nickel hunting, Indian head hunting DP. I mean, this thing is killing it on those nickels. I mean, so yeah, I'm gonna notch in nickels and get to some zinc targets, and man, I can tell you the Indian head is coming. I can feel the magic. Silver quarter, a little bit larger silver. See if we get there. So good hits out to 9, 10, and we're fading away at 11 and 12. we can still get some whispers clear out at 12. So large Liberty, $50 silver. And we're fading away there as well. So it doesn't really matter the size of silver. The G2 Plus just doesn't really like silver much past, 10 inches, which is super respectable. I mean, look, this quarter at 8, 9, really respectable hits. You definitely dig that out in the wild, and the G2 Plus is great in dirt. So with these coils, I'm really excited to get this coil out and use it. So lead, Mexican-American War lead bullet. And we're out to 9, 10, 11 inches there as well. And this big honkin' 1850s French Syntime mid conductor. Look at that. We're clear out to 14 there. Yeah, we're like 15, 16 inch whispers there. So there it is. Those are the air tests on the big 13-inch coil. Quite a sensitive coil. Like I said, it's going to pick up some EMI interference here and there. I mean, even the camera, watch. See, and I'm pretty far from it. I'm like a foot from it, and I can get it to pop and chatter here and there. So it is a sensitive coil. Not so much on like the small stuff. But it's still hitting that out to an inch, inch and a half, no problem. But it does pick up a little more EMI, something to be aware of when you're running a big old coil in the city, something like that. They're made for pastures, they're made for out in the farmlands, they're made for big wide open areas, away from trash and away from EMI. So something to keep in mind when you're using these large coils, all right? So there is the air testing. Let's go run it through 1 or 2 more tests and call it a video. Alright guys, here we go. I have the V-brake set to knock out this big old honkin' nail. It's a 2.5 inch nail. Grunt. Grunt that way. Grunt that way. Alright, go ahead and put down the dime. So the sideways test is pretty easy here. Even with the 13-inch coil. Big wide sweeps. Small cherry pick sweeps on the middle coil. No problem. Let's go diagonal. And we're getting hit. But it's much tougher. And then the sideways is a very tough test, especially for a coil this big. I didn't really expect it to pass it, so. We're still getting some little, you can hear it zip. But it's mostly the iron tone. It's up to you if you would dig that zip in between there, depending on how much experience you have. I mean, that's, you're definitely digging that. So you can hear the zip. You can hear it in there every once in a while, but it's iffy for me not being a relic hunter. So, like I said, the 5x8 coil smashed this. Get the 5x8 coil for trash, for small sensitive targets. We're just seeing what it can do here, this big 13. So go ahead and remove that, and that's a silver dime, high conductor. Put down that penny. So here's an Indian head penny, lower down into the zinc range. So we'll go this way here. Smashes it, no problem. Basically overrides the iron. You can't even hear the iron right there. We're getting it much better. No problem there on that one. This is a tough test. So Monty's nail board test actually uses an Indian head penny. So I'm not going to do the whole nail test or anything like that. I haven't been using it lately for some reason. I've just been using this test. This is a pretty tough test for a nail or for a detector. So we're getting it. Some hits it will, depending on where I move the coil and how high. Oops, see, I scrubbed it right there. How high I move it up and down. It depends. Raise it real high. Nothing but iron. As soon as we get down lower or get angles going with it, we're getting those hits in there. So it's pretty impressive, actually. It's pretty darn impressive. Go ahead and remove that. And now we're going for a super mid conductor here with that thin gold ring right there. And we'll go sideways first here. Definitely hitting it. Now this is under nickel range into foil range, this ring. It's a very thin ring. It reads up as foil. So we're getting it on some hits. Not the greatest. Sideways, no problem. Diagonal, no problem. So this is a very tough test. Go get a 2.5-inch nail, get your detector to just either silence that nail or produce an iron tone on it so that it's not high toning or mid toning, and then start putting some targets next to it and see how well it does. I think a lot of you guys will be surprised with your detector. So there it is. I'm actually pretty impressed. A lot of guys are going to look at this and say, you know, with less experience or something, and say, oh geez, all I heard was the grunt. No, you could definitely hear some of the zips in there. You can definitely tell that the targets were there long ways or sideways. Very, very tough test, like I said. So there it is, guys. The MGC Lab Magic 13-inch coil for the Fisher F11, F22, F44. We have it attached to the G2 Plus and the F19. It'll fit those 19 kilohertz as well. There it is. Big shout out and thank you once again to MGC Lab for hooking me up with this so I could do the review of it. I hope you enjoy the video. The Hunter GT signing off. I will see you on the next video.